I was a writer and director in the US film industry in Los Angeles, Hollywood for many years. And then when the pandemic shut down the industry and I reevaluated everything, I saw that these new technologies were changing the future of not just filmmaking, but storytelling in general, entertainment, speaking about AI, metaverse, and even blockchain. And so I pivoted into these new spaces. And so in this video, I'm going to get into my particular journey, the lessons I've learned, and how I'm adapting my creative skills to thrive in the new future of entertainment and content and storytelling, which we are entering now. I was a writer and director in the film industry, wrote a bunch of scripts, and then the movie that I made that I wrote and directed was on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. It is, you can check it out, and won some film festival awards. That came out in 2019. And then I was going to direct my second movie in 2020, and pandemic hit, shuts down the whole industry. And at that point, like everything, my movie was postponed for a while and then eventually canceled. And I could see the whole industry was not going to come back in the same way. Theaters being shut for so long just was messing up the entire, business model and revenue streams and all that. And I could see that the industry would be hurting for a while and might never come back the same way. And 4 years or later, it still hasn't. So that it confirms what I predicted at that point. And basically when I was reevaluating, because I could see the film industry was not coming back in the same way, I saw that these new technologies were going to change the world and change filmmaking, entertainment, etc. And talking about metaverse, meaning virtual technologies that are virtual technologies. That's not a very descriptive term. Extended reality, something beyond where we can be immersed in another world, right? This includes virtual reality, but it's not limited to virtual reality. It includes augmented reality, right? Where there's both digital images or 3D stuff in a real world, but you can also see the real world, augmented reality. It includes that, but also not limited to that. It includes just a virtual world platform or a virtual experience, a lot like some of these open world video games, like a World of Warcraft or something like that, but with a lot of other uses of it and a lot of other types of experiences in it besides just playing a video game. But I'm broadly referring to that as metaverse technologies, right? You hear the term metaverse a lot. People mean different things. Some people just mean like virtual worlds, like I was just saying. Some people think of more VR, and I'm using it more broadly to include all these experiences that are happening in some kind of digital space and not completely in the real world, and that have a lot more interaction, right, than watching a movie, but they're not necessarily to the extreme of playing a video game. And then we have AI, which is going to is already enabling, but is going to continue to enable people to make various kinds of content, video content, but also these extended reality, metaverse experiences with way less money and skills than were previously needed to create something that was some kind of, let's say, an Avatar type movie or virtual game, some virtual world of Avatar, let's say. Okay, millions of dollars, right? Many millions, hundreds of millions, okay? Now, with AI, people are going to be able to create that for almost nothing. Right now, there'll be some subscription costs for the tools, but $20 a month. Basically, it's going to cost very little. And obviously, to create like a CGI world, you also needed heavy skills to do all the computer stuff to make those worlds. You're not going to need that anymore because AI is going to take care of all that. You're just going to be able to describe what you want to see and how you want it to work for the world and the characters and all that, and the AI will create it for you. And then the other technology I just want to mention, because a lot of people don't quite realize all the use cases of this technology, which is blockchain technology. And people have got mainly focused on cryptocurrency projects, most famous being Bitcoin, but at this point, you probably heard of a lot of other ones. And not everyone, but a lot of people are missing the technology that those projects are built on and everything that technology can be used for. Inside sort of what you know about crypto and what the way blockchain technology is going to enable the change in entertainment and allowing for a lot of independent creators to make good money to support their mini studios, right, or creative companies to produce this kind of content that I'm describing. Blockchain is going to allow them to monetize it much more efficiently and easier than the current methods of payment that you could make if you try to sell your content online. Right now, you either have to give a bunch of it to a platform. YouTube, I think, pays the best of the platforms and still like half. So you have to give half to YouTube. And then the other platforms even worse. And my movie's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, and they pay me pennies when people watch the movie and pay them. That's just another, platform. But with blockchain, you won't need to go through these platforms. You won't need to go through big payment processors with credit cards and Stripe, and then it's limited to certain countries. Blockchain will allow direct payments to you and without any middlemen. And so you're not without a platform, anyone taking money. There's just be way less people taking money from it, which means you get more, which means you can support yourself and support your projects with less people paying. In other words, you don't need to build a Mr. Beast, hundreds of millions of viewers, because he's giving so much of his money to YouTube. So he still has a lot. Obviously, he still makes a ton of money, but he needs a ginormous following, right? Because he's got to give half to YouTube, and the same with a bunch of other YouTube creators. But if you're taking the whole pie, then you need less. You don't need 100 million followers, right? The point I'm making is just that blockchain will enable smaller creators. And also, because the way blockchain works, when people share, let's say people share your content and then somebody else gets it, like those people can be rewarded without setting up any kind of complicated affiliate commission system. It can be automatically coded not into the blockchain, but using blockchain into a smart contract that will enable them to get paid easily. So I'm going down a little further than I wanted to in this video about blockchain, but realize that it's going to allow, the basic point is going to enable a lot of independent creators to support themselves and their projects and be creators. And let's get back into what the changes and how you can prepare yourself and adapt your skills. One thing, so let's break this down. Basically, AI and Metaverse. And I think there's a couple points I want to hit on both. Okay. AI, like I was saying, is something to start using immediately. I'm using AI tools every day. And the point is you don't have to become an expert at specifically Midjourney, ChatGPT, Runway. You don't have to specifically master these tools right now because they're going to get easier to use. So don't get discouraged by having challenges around them, or if you think it's so hard to learn how to use these. It will get much easier because the companies that make these programs are incentivized to make them as easy as possible so that more people will use them and they'll make more money. So they're going to get easier. So they're already actually pretty easy, but if you have challenges with them, don't sweat it because they're going to get easier. The point really now is not to master prompting or anything like that. The key now is to learn how to incorporate them into your workflow in a way that is enhancing you and enhancing your work and not replacing your work or not being involved at all, in which case you're not going to be ready when it really takes off, meaning when the tools get so good that you really can make an Avatar type movie. Like right now, in terms of like video generation, so making any kind of videos or movies, anything like that, they're not really good enough yet. To make something, you can make something. If you look on my YouTube channel in the short section, you can see a bunch of shorts that I made with all AI tools. So you can make something. Those are, I think, good enough to watch as a short and be entertaining, but it doesn't look like an actual movie or TV show. And so we're still not there yet, but that's coming. It's not going to be that long. And if you are using the tools and you grasp how to incorporate them into your workflow and enhance what you do, then you'll be ready. And then when the tools are ready, you're going to then be able to create amazing movies, shows, and immersive storytelling experiences in the metaverse, which I'll get a little more into in a second. But I just want to hit this AI point home that it's really, I think the most important thing now that I'm trying to convey to people is the mindset. It's not really how to use the tools. That's secondary. First is mindset. And the mindset is these are tools that will help you to create quicker and more higher production value creations and things you couldn't create without them. For example, an Avatar type movie, or really any movie. You couldn't make a movie right now with the cost, the amount of money that it costs to make would make an AI movie. In other words, you can make a movie if you have enough money or people or equipment to shoot it, but it costs a lot. You're going to need to use AI tools to enhance what you do. So for example, if you're a writer, if you're creating the story, or you don't even have to be a writer, if you're creating the story, you're using the AI tools to help, like a ChatGPT, a Claude. I prefer Claude actually for any kind of narrative storytelling. You're going to be using that to help craft your stories, but they still got to be your story. They still got to come from you. They still have to have some unique touch from you. If it's just the AI writing it, it's going to be the same as everyone else. It's going to get lost in a sea of mediocre AI content. It's got to be something that only could come from you, but the AI can help you. It definitely can help you write it quicker and and likely better. And this video is already too long. I'll get more into that in other videos, and I think I did in the previous one, actually, AI plus storytelling video. But so anyway, and same with movie, you got to put your unique human touch on it, and it's got to only come from you. So the thing now is to grasp that and then start experimenting with the AI tools and see how you can use them to make your process faster, more efficient, and better, and just expand your possibilities, right? And that's the main thing to learn right now. And it sounds simple when I'm saying it, but it really takes some experimentation to actually grasp it and experience it and figure out how to use it with your process, where it still feels like your creation, your script or your story, your video, images, whatever. And with the immersive metaverse, right, you got to start thinking about different ways to tell stories when somebody's immersed in the world. If they're going to be in a virtual space, the movie or the story has to play out in a different way than it would in a regular movie. In a regular movie, the movie is showing you exactly what to look at all times, right? It will give you a close-up, look at this person's face. It'll give you a wide shot, look at the whole scene, et cetera, et cetera. It's telling you, not even telling you, it's making you look at something specific every moment, right? It's controlling what you see, how you see it, and it's a much more tailored experience, right? Now, if you're in a virtual platform and some story's playing out, well, you're going to have a lot more agency to look around and look at different things. You're not necessarily going to be, you can't necessarily focus on all these little things in a sequence of events that the filmmaker has controlled. So as a creator, you have to start thinking about, oh, I have to tell a story in a different way because I can't control what they're looking at every second. And so it's this kind of thing, and I'm going to get more into this in another video because of the length of this one. But you have to start thinking about telling stories in different ways. And to illustrate this point and also wrap up this video to make a point, these technologies are ushering in a new era just the same way that the internet did. And the internet, I'll say internet video, right? And then and also that at that point that combined with digital cameras, and it all really took off, meaning this new era of entertainment really took off when you had smartphones that had cameras, right? And then we saw just an explosion of content, and the point is different kinds of content and a whole new class of creators that didn't before. They could not do what they do now. Everyone creating content for the internet, and changed the world, right? It changed entertainment. The amount of people that watch internet content versus film and TV, it's completely changed. If you look at how many people watch TV shows, the #1 TV show now, right, wouldn't even be in the top 10 before the internet, right? The numbers have, like the #1 show now on TV would get canceled in the 90s or before then, right? Because it wouldn't have enough viewers, because all the shows had way more viewers. So the point is, it completely changed entertainment, and that's happening again. And you want to look at, okay, the type of video that does well on the internet, say YouTube, we have a Mr. Beast type, TikTok, right? You see all those kind of TikTok videos. Okay, those are new kinds of storytelling, right? Those type of entertainment didn't exist before these internet platforms. You have to start thinking the same way about these new technologies, is that it's going to change the way that stories are told. And you have to start thinking and experimenting with what are those new ways, and how can you tell stories in different ways that utilize the technology and are the native to the technology, and only would, in other words, could only do it with that technology. And so you couldn't have TikTok videos without smartphones. I hope you see what I'm saying, is that the technology is about to change. It's changing the world again in terms of entertainment, video, content, and it's the actual types of content are going to change. The style of the videos, the storytelling, the experiences. And so start thinking and experimenting with different ways to tell stories and create content. And so that you can really take advantage of this new era of entertainment and content. All right. Thanks for watching, and tune back in tomorrow for the next video.